Alright, I need some time to distract myself. I want to talk about one of my favorite games of all time, Chrono Trigger. Just to get the obvious out of the way, the game is incredible, it's amazing, and if you haven't played it, I highly recommend that you do, especially before watching this video. So, spoilers ahead for Chrono Trigger. Do I really need to say spoilers for a game that's been out for like 20 years? I don't know. Spoilers. Throughout the game, you come across several characters of a villainous nature, two of which are that of Magus and Lavos. The story gets kinda complicated, but for the sake of this video, there are only two main plot points that we need to refresh our minds with, plot points that you learn of very early on in the game. One, in the year 1999 AD, a beast called Lavos will erupt from beneath the earth and cause destruction and the end of the world. You know, pretty standard stuff. Two, in the year 600 AD, the leader of the Mystics, Magus, wages war on humanity. He plans to create Lavos and cause the end of the world, so he's the one responsible for the destruction found in the year 1999 AD, as well as the desolate world found afterwards. And you, playing as your mighty party of three, must stop the end of the world. Which threads back to defeating Magus, because if you're going to stop Lavos in the future, you need to stop the guy who's going to create him. In your confrontation with Magus, after beating him in combat, you learn that Magus wasn't trying to create Lavos, only summon him. But that's all you're able to learn as Lavos awakens, creating a gate underneath everyone, sending the party as well as Magus stumbling through all of time. You don't see Magus for a while at this point, not until a little later. But long story short, after losing the life of the main character, Chrono, in battle, the remaining members of the party find themselves at North Cape, where they have to talk to Big Bad Magus. One quick side note, one of the characters in your party, Frog, he's awesome, probably my favorite character in the game, he comes from the time of 600 AD, where humanity focuses on the war effort against the Mystics, so he's familiar with Magus as the leader of the Mystics. Frog was once human. He was best friends with a guy named Cyrus, and upon confronting Magus, Magus killed Cyrus and turned Frog, well, into a frog. Anyways, back to North Cape. You confront Magus, and to my surprise, he comes clean. He explains that back in your original confrontation, he was thrown back in time, back to his home time of antiquity. He disguised himself and watched himself grow up as a child, waiting for the moment that Lavos will rise, the moment that brought him to 600 AD in the first place. Magus then insults Chrono just after he lost his life in battle, reminding you that yes, he is a villain even though he's opening up to you. The insults anger Frog, who unsheaths his mighty sword, the Mesa Mune, and threatens the Fiend Lord. But Magus poses one question. You wish to fight me? Your options are obviously yes or no, and I found myself flicking between the two options quite frantically. I kept thinking, if Magus really wanted to fight you, he wouldn't ask you. You'd just be fighting. But if he's giving you the option, does that mean there's some good left in him? And in the end, why would the developers put this option in here without any kind of reason? The obvious thought is, if you leave him undefeated, you're gambling. You're leaving a villain undefeated. That's obviously just a bad decision, just at face value. But feel fulfilled, because when you choose to give the Fiend Lord mercy, he doesn't scramble off weak-willed, he doesn't destroy you and take over the world like any villain would, but he offers his services to your party. And if you so choose, you can bring him along to save all of time. This was huge! From the start of the game, from the start of really any game, players are practically bred to do one thing: defeat the bad guy. Like, imagine getting your new copy of Breath of the Wild 2, playing through the story, and when you get to face Ganondorf in the final battle, after defeating him, you forgive him for the millennia of treachery he has put on the Kingdom of Hyrule. And upon joining your quest, the doors open behind your former enemy and reveal the true quest. That's what it felt like. In the moment I thought it was all over for that character, I learned the story had only begun. But why is this important? Well, it's something I've always appreciated about this game from the moment I first played it in junior year astronomy. Thanks, Mr. Leckman. The game gives you the option to go the classic route of defeating your enemy and move on, but if you're wise enough to choose what might seem to be the more foolish option at first, you'll only be rewarded. Something I find interesting about forgiveness is that before I researched this video, if you would have asked me to define the word, I would have said something along the lines of the ability to pardon someone from a decision they had made in the past and acknowledge from here on out that there was nothing wrong with what they did. But something I learned from researching for this video is the true, literal definition of forgiveness. Webster's dictionary defines it as to cease to feel resentment against an offender. Now, it's good that I first state that there's a lot more to a word than just its dictionary definition. Words are like art, where they can hold wildly different interpretations. But in this case, I wanted to use the dictionary definition as a reference or an anchor to further help myself realize what's actually being said here. So anyways, what I find interesting about this is that the dictionary definition doesn't imply anything about acknowledging what the offender did was okay. The act of forgiving is defined as an internal decision, not external. So when you forgive someone, this involves you breaking down that barrier within yourself, the barrier of anger and resentment, which then allows you to assess the situation without any single emotion driving your decisions, letting you come to a conclusion that is well thought out and carefully determined, understanding the situation of yourself and the offender alike. But what does this mean for Chrono Trigger? The developers of the game are not saying that if you choose not to forgive Magus, that you're doomed for the rest of the game for making a foolish decision. In fact, if you do decide to defeat him, he lets you. Sure, I mean, he puts up a fight, but you can walk away from the battle feeling quite fulfilled, but still wondering, what would have happened if I had forgiven him? The game is simply rewarding you for having the bravery to defeat your anger before defeating your enemies, and in accepting your former enemy into your party, he will only be proven useful for the many battles to come. As it is true that many have and will continue to make their way through life with a certain amount of anger and resentment towards others, this part of the game is only one demonstration showing that through forgiveness and the relinquishment of your inner need to prove others wrong, serve justice, and in some cases, be the hero, you will not only find peace within yourself, but peace among friends. As King Arthur would say, why have enemies when you can have friends? Though deciding to defeat Magus in the game does leave the ending unchanged for the most part, there are several moments that having him in the party makes the story beats of the game far more meaningful, at least to me. There's so much to unpack in this game, this is only the first thing that stuck out to me. So let me know what you think. I don't know if I'm going to be making videos often, or making them at all, but if you listened this far, then please let me know what I did right and wrong, or just, your thoughts in general. And, maybe you'll see me in the future. But for now, don't know how to close out a video, so, bye.